if you heard money is the root of all evil, money is bad, only certain people are allowed to make money, you have to work hard to make money, this is how you got to do it, and that becomes the foundation subconsciously. Recording an audio file. You just keep recording that audio file, it becomes a subconscious program, right?
If you've ever heard the saying, money is the root of all evil, or believe that you have to work hard to make money, then this video is for you. Today, we're going to explore the relationship between our thoughts, emotions, and money, and how we can shift our mindset to attract more abundance and prosperity into our lives. Many of us have grown up with certain beliefs and attitudes towards money. Perhaps we were told that money doesn't grow on trees, or that we have to work hard to make a living. These messages can shape our subconscious mind and create limiting beliefs around money. However, the truth is that money is neither good nor bad. It's simply a tool that we can use to create the life we want. And the good news is that we can change our beliefs and attitudes around money to attract more abundance and prosperity into our lives.
So a lot of people have a relationship with money based on either what they've been told or what they've experienced in their outer environment, right? So you have an experience where you lose money, you have an experience where money's taken away from you, you have an experience where you don't have enough, you're living in a place where there's not enough money, or a family that's not enough money. Then the emotion that most people are living by on a moment-to-moment basis is lack. Like, I'm in lack of having something that I want, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that, because the experience changes your emotional state. You freeze the frame, you take a picture. The problem is, that's hardware. So we think neurologically within the circuits of that past experience, and we feel chemically within the boundaries of that emotion, which would say, for example, be lack, right? Body is saying, I'm waiting for some external event to occur. I win the lottery. I marry the right guy. Whatever it is, that you're waiting for that event to occur, that experience produces an emotion. So the emotion then takes away the lack. Now, people are, in a sense, waiting for the experience that's 10 years down the road or 30 years down the road to happen, to take away the lack of them not having it. And unfortunately, many times when the experience finally occurs, they can't enjoy it because they're too exhausted, right? So you play the game, you go to school, you study really hard, or you study on your own, you develop some skills, you make the right choices, you start saving money, you start learning from your mistakes. And then the game is, how many things can you accumulate? And that accumulation then you associate with being wealthy or being abundant or being successful, right? And some people get really good at it, right? You can get really good at that. But for the most part, though, when we create from three-dimensional reality, we're creating from lack and separation. In other words, you're driving down the road and you see someone driving a car that all of a sudden you realize that you don't have. The moment you become aware that that person has that car and you don't have it, you're in lack of having it, right? So what the brain naturally does is it naturally creates you driving that car. And you have an image of yourself driving that car and you start identifying, wow, that would be a greater experience for me to have. The problem is the distance between the thought of what you want and the experience of actually happening for most people is the concept called time. Right? Between cause and effect, right? So some people develop the ability to manage themselves and manage their life. They develop certain skills and they can pay for it and they can get it very quickly. The problem is when the novelty of that experience wears off, the car, and they're no longer identifying with that, and the feeling of emptiness and lack comes back.
They need to find something else.
They got to go and find something else. And so there's this game that goes on where you never have enough, right? And that's the lack game, right? Is there another way to do it?
Yes.
Okay. So the person who's living in lack is waiting for their wealth to feel abundant. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. They're waiting for their mystical experience to feel awe. That's the Newtonian model of reality of cause and effect. Waiting for that event to happen to take away this separation or lack. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way most people create.
Our relationship with money is shaped by a variety of factors, including our upbringing, cultural and societal messages, and personal experiences. For example, if we grew up in a household where money was tight, we may have developed a scarcity mindset around money. We may feel that there's never enough to go around, or that we have to save every penny just to make ends meet. On the other hand, if we grew up in a household where money was abundant, we may have developed a more relaxed attitude towards money. We may feel that money comes easily and naturally to us, and that we don't have to work too hard to make a living. However, our relationship with money is not set in stone. We can change our beliefs and attitudes around money by becoming aware of our subconscious programming and taking steps to reprogram it. Our thoughts and emotions are powerful tools that can either work for or against us. When it comes to money, our thoughts and emotions can either attract or repel abundance and prosperity. For example, if we constantly think about how we don't have enough money, we are sending a message to the universe that we are in a state of lack. This can lead to more scarcity and a feeling of never having enough. On the other hand, if we focus on the abundance and prosperity that we do have in our lives, we are sending a message of gratitude and appreciation to the universe. This can lead to more abundance and a feeling of having enough. Similarly, our emotions can also impact our relationship with money. For example, if we feel anxious or fearful around money, we may make poor financial decisions or avoid taking risks that could lead to greater prosperity. However, if we feel confident and empowered around money, we are more likely to make smart financial decisions and take calculated risks that can lead to greater abundance.
But what we've discovered is actually something else. The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're empowered, you are moving towards your success. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you'll create an equal. The moment you are in awe of life, you're going to have a mystical experience. And so that's causing an effect, right? And frequency. For most people, they're unaware of the quantum field. And if you're unaware of it, it doesn't exist for you. Right. Just like you have a nose, but if you're unaware of it, it doesn't exist for you. The moment you become aware of it, it exists. Well, the quantum field, you can study all kinds of science, and they'll tell you there is this invisible field of frequency and energy that exists beyond the senses that tend to connect everything physical and material. In fact, everything physical and material is connected to this field. Okay? So, how do you get there? Right? How do you get there?
How do you get there?
How do you get there? So we discovered that when you take all of your attention off your body and you are not paying attention to your emotions, your drives, your habits, if you could take all of your attention off of every element of your environment, your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, your car, your whatever it is, your bed, take your attention away from everything, every place that you live, or you sleep, or you work, and you're not thinking about time. You're not thinking about your schedule, where you need to be, or what happened yesterday. You can relax into the present moment. There tends to be a dramatic change in the way the brain functions when people do this properly. We call it getting beyond yourself, but in a sense, you're dissociating from your three-dimensional reality. Why? Because if you're thinking about anything in your three-dimensional reality, that's where your attention is and that's where your energy is, okay? So we kind of figured out this formula when people really become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time. We are pretty much all of a sudden outside the constraints of the Newtonian world of got to do something to get an outcome. And if you can teach people how to linger there without a name, without a face, without a profession, without a family, without a culture, without a past, without a disease, you teach them how to be in this place we call the unknown, right?